the girl a-running in a group. She had a high-speed motor in a 44 coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod at large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
Toyota. They did something naughty. Yes, they did. A $1,025 Toyota Care Plus maintenance plan only delivered $800 to $900 worth of car service, not $1,900 estimated by the dealerships, according to the lawsuit by a RAV4 owner seeking class action status. In other words, they buy this maintenance program and you're supposed to get all this stuff, but he didn't get it. Okay, and he got about half, or not half, but they're slacking. Let's put it that way. A California woman has sued Toyota Motor Company Credit and Toyota, and these Motor Company Credit Corp. That's the F&I guy in the dealership. He probably hosed her. And Toyota, alleging one of the manufacturer's franchise dealerships sold her a maintenance plan for 10 service visits, and exaggerated the combined savings over the life of the coverage by hundreds of dollars compared with the cost of the service she actually got. Teresa Solis, Southern District of California lawsuit, did not count as defendants either of the California dealerships mentioned in her allegations. Through the case involves 100 unknown Doe defendants, John Doe, to be named later. She claims a Toyota dealership, other than where she purchased the contract, skipped 4 of the services and charged her for filters that were never supposed to be covered. Yeah, this is you got to be really careful when you start selling those packages, the subscriptions, and you start selling them, you better make sure, darn well sure, you're going to give them, that the people that buy them are going to get what they're supposed to get, because that's some heavy duty dough. You can imagine if they sell $1,000 ticket on every car they sell, Chuck. That's a lot of money. You move 300 cars a month, it's $300,000. That's what it comes to. Yeah. All right, China files the WTO complaint, World Trade Organization complaint, over U.S. electric vehicle subsidies. China is taking its dispute with the U.S., they got one, over electric vehicle subsidies to the World Trade Organization, challenging elements of President Biden's signature climate law passed in 2022. Yeah, well, I challenge it too, but it's beside the point. The Inflation Reduction Act and associated rules are discriminatory and have been seriously distorted the global electric vehicle supply chain, the Chinese Ministry of Commerce said in a statement Tuesday, announcing a complaint it filed with the WTO, the World Trade Organization. And of course, China owns that stuff. It owns everything. Those people, the government owns it all there. They got a really sweet deal going over there, don't they? The U.S.'s top trade official, Ambassador Catherine Tai, responded that China continues to use unfair policies and the practices to undermine fair competition and dominate global markets. Guess what? The complaint comes months after the U.S. finalized restrictions that reduced the number of electric cars eligible for as much as the $7,500 purchase tax credits. The guidelines that went into effect beginning of this year will eventually mean that vehicles containing battery components or raw materials sourced from foreign entities of concern will no longer qualify for credits. In other words, a country that doesn't like us, and we're not wild about them either. I would not assume the case is automatically a winner for China, said Bill Reinsch, a senior advisor at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Procurement and subsidy rules are complicated, and I can see the U.S. putting up a strong defense. I can too. I can say, hey, we don't want to buy cars from China. And you know what they're doing? They're building a big plant, Chuck, in Florida. Or not Florida, in Mexico, so that they don't have to pay the big tariff. They want to make them in Mexico, and ship them up here under the auspices of Mexican trade.
Remember, they're going to assemble them in Mexico.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they're going to assemble them. They're not going to be making parts.
They're going to be shipping them in big kits, like you used to get those little car
little
kits
model
on your
kits?
kid. Yeah, just
That's what all the parts were stuck to
pop them out, yeah.
Yeah, you had to peel them off of there. And
I mean, look, if you're going to sell a car for $10,000, you got to find the cut costs wherever you can.
Well, there's got to be some plastic involved if you're selling it for $10,000. Plastic and styrofoam. Jeez, oh Pete. And we don't want them. We don't want their cars here. And we just don't want to. We don't want to do business with them. They are, yeah, long story. That's another story for another time and another show. All right, the UAW membership has fallen 3.3% to the lowest level since 2009. That's when everybody was getting laid off. The union's net assets grew last year to $1.1 billion, despite paying out $152 million in those strike benefits from that big strike they had. Okay. The dip erases gains made in 2022, and comes despite promises by second-year UAW President Shawn Fain to continue growing the union's ranks through an ambitious organizing drive of transplant automakers. That's what he's doing. We'll talk about this in a second. The LM-2 report, whatever that means, filed with the Department of Labor, compares a union membership as of December 2023 with the same period a year earlier. It's important to understand these documents are a snapshot of our membership count on December 31st, 2023. The reality is the numbers fluctuate. I'm sure they do. The UAW said in a statement Friday. The UAW is they're trying to organize, and I think they're gonna finally make it. They're finally going to make it. They're going to organize that plant in Chattanooga, Tennessee. They've already organized a parts supply plant that was strictly non-union. And they've been trying for 3 years to get that Chattanooga plant. If they get their foot in the door at the Chattanooga plant, it's Katie bar the door. They're going to be organizing as many as they can, because there's a lot of foreign companies that came here and built plants and hired people. There are a lot of Americans working there, but they're non-union. And they don't have to be. They pick states that were right to work or whatever, so you don't have to join the union. Well, guess what you get when you don't have union-trained labor? It's exactly what you get. But they're building a good car. Toyota, the rest of them, they're all over the place. Volkswagen, they're building everywhere in the country in right-to-work states, non-union states. So we'll see what Shawn Fain comes up with. I hope he wins. I hope he makes it. I really, really want him to make it. I like the guy. I like his tactics so far. He's a pretty tough guy. That's really pretty good. Toyota is tightening the control over their battery production before the new electric vehicle push. They're counting on a new electric vehicle push. I wouldn't hold my breath, guys. Toyota is buying out Panasonic for full ownership of their battery-making joint venture, Prime Earth Electric Vehicle Energy Company. So they were already in bed with Toyota. Yes, Toyota with Panasonic. Toyota was in bed with Panasonic. Toyota will take the next step to buying out longtime partner Panasonic for full ownership of either the 28-year-old battery-making joint venture, of their Prime Earth EV Energy Company. This move comes as Prime Earth, one of Toyota's earliest suppliers of batteries for hybrid vehicles, including the Prius, gears up to start producing batteries for full electric vehicles in Japan. Toyota traditionally likes close oversight, if not outright control, over key components. Bringing Prime Earth fully in-house allows more flexibility in deciding output levels, cost, and battery technology. So Akito Toyota wants to keep his finger on it. Prime Earth, which was established in 1996 as a 40-60 joint venture between Toyota and Panasonic, has focused only on power packs for standard and plug-in hybrids. Well, I know they do a really good job with the Prius battery, Chuck. We have several Priuses. As a matter of fact, we got one company that has a fleet of them in their sales, and they're getting the most buck for their money with these Priuses. Their batteries are lasting. Their brakes are lasting. I think we've put tires on one, and I think we've put brakes on another one. That's all maintenance stuff that wears out. And the Prius is a good little car. If you, first of all, you gotta like the. I don't like the looks of them, and I don't fit in them, so I don't bother. But they're a good car, and their batteries from this Panasonic thing that's been their partner. I mean, they're doing a great job. Of course, who else but Panasonic? If you're going to fire up electricity or electronics, you want to call Panasonic, right? I mean, that's where I would go. That's what I would do. And it's just, hey, Panasonic, fix me a battery. I'd call Interstate myself, but because I'm an Interstate guy. It's a United States first. Mitsubishi and Nissan team up on electric vehicle pickup plug-in hybrid. Hello. It's a first for North American market. Nissan and Mitsubishi were partnering on a region-specific products, including a next-generation pickup electric vehicle and a plug-in hybrid. So they're working together on this, but you never see two different companies from Japan working together. Nissan will launch its first North America plug-in hybrid based on a system engineered by Mitsubishi. Oh, they're sharing technology too. And Mitsubishi will launch a local product using Nissan's electric vehicle technology. Meanwhile, Nissan and Mitsubishi will jointly develop a next-generation pickup produced in Mexico. Full electric and plug-in hybrid versions of that truck are under consideration. Now get this. Well, it's a 1-ton pickup, would likely land as a successor to the Nissan Frontier pickup. But they're building it in Mexico to get these consolidations, and they're using parts. I hope they're using parts that come out of the United States, but I mean, you never know. Building such a pickup in Mexico would allow shipment to the U.S. and Latin America for cheap. For cheap. They don't need you don't have to have a tariff, or not. You got a tariff, but it's not very big. You know what? They're all starting to get smart, and guess what? We're not. There's a couple things here going on around the car business we should talk about, and I don't know if anybody knows any of this stuff, but some of this is kind of wild. Hyundai's their product strategy for selling in the future includes a mix of powertrains. As it builds its position in electric vehicles. So there's going to be more than just electric in them Nar Hills in Hyundai. The infrastructure for electric vehicles has not yet caught up to current vehicle production. No. I think we've heard that here on this show a while back. Every week, 3 times a week. And the mass market has not embraced the technology, she added. We need to have choices for everybody. No. That's a little something you hear on this show every week. Boyle said the automaker is very confident in its current electric vehicle portfolio and with its strategy going forward. By 2030, Hyundai Motor plans to have 11 global electric vehicles. But they're going to have some internal combustion, and some hybrids. You know why? Because they have to. Nobody's... don't get me started, Chuck. You always do this to me. I'm telling you, the electric vehicle it's going to be part of our future, but it's not the future. The first Chevrolet Silverado electric vehicle has a retail trim priced at $96,495, and it has 440 miles of range. That's not bad for range. But you know what? I'm sure they figure that on. You're not using anything but the engine or the electric for power. The Silverado electric vehicle RST First Edition is expected to go on sale by mid-year. The first retail trim of the 2024 Chevrolet electric vehicle will have a longer range and lower starting price. That's a lower starting price. $96,000 is a lower starting price, Chuck. Holy moly! Huh? Choo. Woo. Chevy launched the Silverado electric vehicle in 2023 with 2 fleet-focused variants. The four-wheel drive and the three, I don't know what that means, three something, WT. Who knows? Additional retail trims will follow the first edition with varying ranges and price points. So this is not WT. That bothers me. I should know that. I will by the end of the day. The fully loaded RST First Edition will be equipped with a 17-inch infotainment screen. Oh, no. Come on. We don't have enough driver distraction. An 11-inch driver information screen. A head-up display. Oh, God. GM Super Cruise hands-free drive assist technology while trailering and standard four-wheel steering capability. Four-wheel steering is, you know who's had that for the longest time was Lamborghini, and there's one other one that had it. Those guys, I see them on the Dan Ryan, and when they go to change lanes, and I look in there like this, going sideways, because all four wheels turn. Chevrolet launched the Silverado electric vehicle as a 4WT work truck. Here we go with my WTs again, which comes with an EPA estimated 450-mile range and starts at, now this starts at $79,000 without all the toys and whistles. A work truck followed and offers an EPA estimated 393-mile range starting at $74,000. So that's better. That's better than the $96,000. I mean, that was pretty heavy duty. No, that was real heavy duty. That's what that was. That's expensive. Well, our buddy, Chuck and I, have a buddy. Yes, we have a friend in Elon, we say. Tesla's back on top in the global electric vehicle sales after BID's Q1 decline. BID's first quarter sales fell 43% from record-breaking Q4 of last year. Holy smokers. Maybe everybody in China's already got their BID, huh? Got their car. BID sold 300,000 electric vehicles the first quarter of the year. It said in a filing to the Shenzhen Stock Exchange late on Monday, down from a record quarterly high of 526,000 the previous 3-month period. So that's 225,000 vehicles when it surpassed Tesla. BID first quarter sales rose 13% from a year ago. But BID quarterly decline in volume means Tesla took back the sales title based on first quarter deliveries of 386,000 vehicles. Been a few more. I rounded it off. A decline of about 20% from the prior quarter and 8.5% from a year ago. So at the end of the quarter, of course, the last quarter of the year is when everybody buys a car, Chuck.
Right.
They want their tax write-off. Tesla's decline comes amid softer overhaul demand and slowdown in the Chinese market, where local rivals led by BID upped the ante in a price war for buyers. Yeah, because Tesla has a plant in China and they sell cars there. Tesla sold 89,000 China-made vehicles in March, up 0.2%, from a year earlier. Data from the Chinese Passenger Car Association showed on Tuesday.